Welcome back to Speed Bumps with Austin Evans, where we learn from the speed bumps of life, business, mental health, fitness, whatever it may be. And today I have an awesome one for you. I want to share with you the parable of the fisherman. It's a story that my cousin introduced to me, and it sparked a literal 10-year conversation between us about wants and desires and legacy and ambition. And it's one of those stories that stirs up endless thoughts and reflections that I'll probably be wrestling with for my whole life. So, this story is not about rejecting ambition, but understanding what truly brings fulfillment to you. And I think other ambitious people will really resonate with this story and kind of identify with how ambition is such a blessing and a curse. And you always want more, but you're reaching and you're achieving. And so I think you'll get something out of this. This story reminds me to pause and ask, what am I really chasing? So without further ado, the parable of the fisherman. A wealthy businessman was on vacation in a small coastal village when he noticed a fisherman pulling his boat ashore. The boat contained several large fish. The businessman complimented the fisherman on his catch and asked, "How long does it take you to catch all those fish?" "Not long," the fisherman replied. "Why don't you stay out longer and catch more?" asked the businessman. "You could earn money, buy a bigger boat, hire more people. Eventually you could own a fleet of boats, open a seafood company, and become very rich." The fisherman smiled and asked, "And what would I do then?" The businessman replied, "You could retire, move to a small village, fish for pleasure, spend time with your family, and enjoy life." The fisherman laughed and said, "And what do you think I'm doing now?" So this story challenges the notion that success and fulfillment come from constant striving and reaching for more and material accumulation, right? And it reminds us to consider what we truly value and to appreciate what we already have instead of endlessly chasing more, which as the ambitious person, that's very easy to do, right? Because I said it's a blessing and a curse, so you always want more. Thankfully, you're ambitious, so hopefully you have work ethic paired with that, right? So you are achieving. So that's the blessing and the curse of it. But it's the thought of destination happiness, which is believing that once you achieve a certain goal, once we get here, we'll be happy. And then we constantly move the goalposts. So I constantly feel like I'm achieving a goal that I set, and I remember writing the goal. Like I journal. I remember writing the goal, and it was, okay, man, I'd be thinking, man, if I achieve this, it's it. I got everything I need. And then I reached that milestone, and I immediately move the goalposts. I immediately think that the next achievement will make me happier. It'll make me in a more fulfilled place. Rather than just being like, man, I have enough. I have exactly what I need. And again, there's balance here. I don't want to tip too far. What I tend to do is I tend to tip to this side of the scale where I'm like, more, more, more. And then I go through a season of life where I tip all the way back and I'm like, I'm good. Like, what the heck do I need more for? And for me, where I want to be is a little bit more towards that, like, I'm good. I have enough. Because I feel like that's where a level of fulfillment comes. And when I go through those chapters of life and I'm in that phase, I'm like, man, I'm so much more content. I'm so much more at ease. I don't feel the pressure. Like a lot of times the pressure is all self-inflicted for me. And so, destination happiness is a dangerous habit to have. If habit's the right word for that. Whenever we're having this conversation, my cousin and I, 10-year conversation, we always end up landing on this quote about the desire to want it all, but the wisdom to know that none of it matters. And I hope that alone resonates with you like it does me and just helps provoke a positive thought pattern for you. So I want to share a perspective from Seth Godin. And Seth Godin is a multiple New York Times best-selling author. He's a blogger. He has super interesting perspectives on things. And so his perspective on money is this. Money is a story. Once you have enough for beans and rice and taking care of your family and a few other things, more doesn't matter. Money is a story, and you can tell yourself any story you want about money. It's better to tell yourself a story about money that you can happily live with, though. So beyond meeting our basic needs, money's subjective, right? And its meaning depends entirely on what we attach to it, and we all value it differently. So I posed the question, or a number of questions to you that I ask myself all the time. What story am I telling myself about money? Do I really need the new car, the new truck, the watch, the sports memorabilia piece? Am I going to find true happiness and fulfillment in those things? What am I chasing? Is it worth it? What am I giving up to chase that? And then here's an interesting thought. Are you already living the life that you're chasing after? That one hits me. So if you think about all this and it hits you like it does me, I hope it helps you appreciate small, meaningful parts of your life right now, that you have right now in the present, and ultimately you can feel some peace and contentment with where you're at right now. I'll tell you this though, after a decade of carrying on this conversation, I'm far from having it all figured out. I feel like I'll continue this conversation for a super long time. But one thing I can say with confidence is that, and I say this with confidence, but it doesn't mean I don't have trouble with it sometimes, is that my achievements, my income, my material possessions don't define me. And it's not about getting what you want, it's about wanting what you've got. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. Share it with somebody if you loved it.